we know that there's a specific law in the US courts whereby they say that if you are a search company, you are allowed to crawl all the data and use it. Now, that in a way is being used also to train the models, right? And a lot of these companies have become multi-billion dollar companies by using the data and training algorithms on it, right? Where do you stand on this? Like, who does the data belong to? Uh, what are the ethical aspects of it, and what does that lead to?
No, I think it's interesting, and I think I'll go back to the root of this, right? Like, let's say if I'm a painter, a creative person, I definitely go through school and look at the artistic styles of say Andy Warhol, Salvador Dali, for example, or Van Gogh, and so on and so forth. And initially, I would actually probably copy those so that I get used to the style, the way that they represent stuff. Eventually, over a period of time, I kind of, as an artist, I'll probably develop my own authentic way of
Mm.
maybe representing stuff based on my own experience. So we never build stuff in isolation. Same thing with architecture, same thing with technology, right? So there is a case to be made in some sense, I would say, for fair use, right? Because unless the AI system is completely um, copying it, and pasting it as it is, which is in contravention of, I would say, copyright law. To some extent, you can obviously quote something, like we do, like for example in book reviews or movie reviews, for example. But or even parody is another good example where we kind of reuse maybe the tune
Yeah.
or the sentence structure or the context and then kind of rework it to a different sense. So those things are protected by copyright use. Again, I have to say that I'm not a lawyer, so this is my interpretation, so take it with like loads of salt.
Yeah.
But again, because coming back to the earlier point, right, because it is probabilistic, yes, it has been trained on this stuff. But some of the stuff is like, so that is generated so uncanny in terms of style, in terms of say writing
Mm.
style, or in terms of image styling. uh, there will be a push from creators to maybe license maybe certain styles or use certain styles, and we'll
Mm.
have to figure out a way to get some provenance. But the challenge is because AI systems, especially going back to the technology, neural networks, attribution is like slightly difficult. It becomes slightly harder to kind of prove what are the sources where it has come from.
Mm.
Many times also, like for example, if you're asking me some of these questions, and I have talked to maybe multiple customers, and maybe sometimes one customer might have said something, and it's like, oh, I might have filed it away. Maybe I read it on this book, in this book, and then this customer also I was able to read. So I'm taking two insights and kind of formulating that. Man, is that like copyrightable? Probably
Mm.
not, right? So we all take inspiration, but this line is very fuzzy. There are instances where I've seen that the style is like very closely copied, and hence there is a question of harms that can be done. But again, it's a very research oriented topic. At the same time also, it has like a societal value to answer this question. So I don't have a very clear answer, but I feel that at some point where it will settle,